Welcome, everyone. I'm absolutely pumped to be walking you through this explainer on the 2026-2027 Residential Curriculum and Staff Playbook. Look, if you're part of the team shaping the student experience this upcoming academic year, you're in the right spot. We're going to break down the frameworks, the expectations, and the tools you need to make a massive impact on campus living. It's all about creating an environment where students don't just live, but truly thrive. So get comfortable and let's get ready for an amazing year ahead. Here's a quick roadmap for our time today. We'll kick things off with the residential life mission, then unpack the BEAR plan, dive into the 4 programming pillars, go over logistics and room pact, and finally, wrap up with mastering intentional conversations. Let's jump right into part 1, the residential life mission. At the end of the day, our ultimate why as a department is to positively impact campus living by serving, developing, and supporting our students. But, it doesn't stop there. We do this while providing safe, engaging living environments that are technologically advanced and, most importantly, extend learning way outside the classroom walls. I really want you to keep this in mind as we go through the rest of this explainer, okay? Because literally every single movie night, every bulletin board you design, and every hallway conversation you have ties directly back to this mission. You are the facilitators of that outside the classroom learning. Moving on to Section 2, let's unpack the BEAR plan. Now, it's pretty interesting how we define what we actually do here. BEAR stands for Building Engagement Activity Resource. It's basically a comprehensive student development framework designed to guide holistic learning and growth outside the classroom. Through co-curricular programs, events, and all those shared experiences, this plan supports our students in becoming truly well-rounded individuals. We want them informed, engaged, and fully prepared for life beyond the university. To make that kind of holistic growth a reality, the BEAR plan focuses on 5 specific areas. First, we've got intellectual excellence. Second, identity and personal wellness. Third is civic engagement and leadership. Fourth, multicultural competence and inclusive community. And finally, sustainability. Each of these key areas encourages intentional growth in both a personal and a community context. So, by touching on these 5 pillars throughout the year, you're actually helping students build essential life skills they're going to use during their college years and long after they graduate. So, the big question is, how do you actually implement this, right? Well, it's super simple, and it takes all the guesswork out of your planning. Step 1, just go to the Residential Curriculum 26-27 Google Drive folder. Step 2, click on the folder for your specific residential community, and then open the sequencing plan. Step 3, once you're in there, pick a priority and a learning outcome for that specific month. And step 4, find the folder for that priority, browse the options, and just make a copy of the BEAR plan that you think would be the absolute best fit for your community. It's a streamlined 4-step process to get you exactly what you need with no headache. Okay, on to Section 3, the 4 programming pillars. Let's compare social and supportive programs and see how they build out our programming model. For social programs, your focus is entirely on your individual hall. Your programming assistant, or PA, proposes the idea, and your RLC or RC approves the event and the room pack submission. The best part, no pre- or post-assessment is needed. Boom, easy. Now contrast that with supportive programs. This is all about getting out of the hall and attending external campus events. A huge update for you here. Approval is no longer needed by Dr. Gates for these. Instead, your PA searches for an event, coordinates with the host department, asks for their marketing materials, and gets them posted in the hall and on the Complex Instagram. Let's break down that supportive program workflow a bit more, because partnering with the broader campus is incredibly valuable. Step 1, the PA searches for an event. And remember, you can totally work with campus groups like the Residence Hall Association or the National Residence Hall Honorary to find these. Just try to avoid busy times like X period. Step 2, the PA informs the RC or RLC of the picked event. Step 3, and this is absolutely vital, reach out to the group or department you're supporting. Let them know you're coming and give them an estimated headcount so they can prepare. Step 4, ask for their marketing materials to post in your hall and on social media. And finally, Step 5, once the coordinator approves it, the PA submits the event proposal on RoomPact. Next up, our 4th and final programming pillar is the spontaneous program. These are fantastic because they're those natural, organic community builders. They can be led by literally any student staff member. We're talking about low-stress, high-connection events like a movie night, a game night, or a study night. You don't need elaborate flyers for these. They're usually just marketed by word of mouth or a quick blast in the hall group me. But, and this is a massive but, they must still be added to RoomPact. We have to document all the great things happening in your communities. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How does this all fit together? Well, let's map out the fall semester so you can easily digest your exact monthly programming workload. In August, since you're busy opening the halls, we keep it super light, just one social program. September and October, those are your standard active months. One bear plan, one social, and one supportive program each month. When we hit November, students are heads down in projects and heading into Thanksgiving break, so it scales back to just one bear plan. Finally, in December, we do one social program, which is actually going to be a department program, and one supportive program, specifically the late night breakfast. Keep this timeline handy. It's practically your ultimate pacing guide for the whole semester.
That brings us to Section 4, Logistics and Room Packed.
Let's talk about supplies, because whether you're prepping for a social event, putting up fresh bulletin boards, or crafting door decks, you need materials, right? The process here is very straightforward. Coordinators, so that's your RCs and RLCs, are responsible for getting with your assistant directors, or ADs, to do the shopping. Your AD will actually be the one purchasing the supplies, and they'll also give you the specific deadlines for when supply requests are due. RCs and RLCs, it squarely falls on you to make sure these tasks are completed properly and on time. And speaking of being on time, I want to anchor this number firmly in your brain right now. 30. The 30th of the month is our universal deadline. All beer plan evaluations, due by the 30th on Room Packed. Room Packed event attendance tracking, due by the 30th. Bulletin boards for the semester, yep, due on the 30th of each month. Now for opening, make sure to connect with your supervisor for specific dates, but otherwise, when in doubt about a deadline, just remember the number 30. Coordinators and PAs, you'll be working together to ensure all evaluations are completed in Room Packed by the state. Finally, let's dive into Section 5, Mastering Intentional Conversations. I've got another very important number for you to remember, and that is 10. The core expectation for RAs and CAs is that 10 intentional conversations must be submitted every single month, and this requirement kicks off bright and early on August 17th. Listen, these aren't just your standard passing hellos in the hallway. These are documented, meaningful check-ins with your residents to see how they are truly doing. So let's look at the specific rules and exceptions for these conversations. First off, RAs and CAs, you should always start with the residents on your own floors. However, your supervisor can discern if you need to reach out to other floors or buildings. And remember, all positions can do intentional conversations if they need more hours, provided your primary position responsibilities come first, of course. Now, what about exceptions? During our short months, August and January, the requirement is halved, down to 5 conversations. During December and May, as students are packing up and taking finals, none are required. And of course, keeping with our golden rule we just talked about, all intentional conversations are due on the 30th of each month. Okay, so we've covered the mission, the bear plan, the programming pillars, the logistics, and your intentional conversations. The whole framework is laid out right in front of you. But the real magic, that happens when you actually bring this structure to life. So ask yourself, how are you going to use these tools to positively impact the living experience in your community this year? How are you going to make a resident feel truly seen during an intentional conversation or spark a brand new interest during a bear plan event? You literally have everything you need right here to make a real difference. Thank you so much for diving into this explainer with me, and hey, here's to an absolutely incredible academic year ahead.